Original Trust Auspices, Office of Hawaiian Affairs, and we're actually using their address on Oahu.
OHA.
Yeah, OHA, because technically all this is supposed to come under there. Okay, not as a state agency, as an independent, separate, and autonomy from all branches of the state.
This is in the original charter.
That's in the original Con of 1978 and the committee report that they reported to them. It's just that the damn legislators never did fulfill the will of the people, and that's against the state. So we'll take action with that, because they purposely defrauded the will and intent of the good people of the state of Hawaii, who changed their preamble, who created this wonderful, separate, independent Office of Hawaiian Affairs, so the Hawaiians can take care of themselves and leave the state to the state. That was the whole idea. And
so it was an independent agency.
It was, yeah. It's and I did say, you go back to
your email.
That one about the independent agencies. They do this all the time, especially at the federal level. They will create independent agencies that are run by commissions and boards that are outside the purview of the executive branch. Although it's created under the executive branch, it's created as an independent. It gets funding and everything, but the executive branch head has no say on it. Okay. So that's really what independent agencies are all about, and that's really what the Office of Hawaiian was always intended to be.
To this moment.
To this moment. Right. It's just that it's never been activated. It's never been operating in the 40 years of its existence. But as the trust beneficiaries, we're still able to apply it to ourselves as beneficiaries under the Great Trust, not the 1920 or the 1900 or the 1898, but the 1893, when the Queen yielded. By statement, she made a trust with the United States of America. She didn't yield to the overthrowers.
Right.
She yielded to the superior force of the, and her yield statement was, until such time as facts be presented, you undo the wrong of your representatives and reinstate me. And he did. See, people forget that part. Cleveland, Grover Cleveland.
Yeah.
After the Blount report, he said words over too, but this is where the Queen kind of screwed up. And it's in her. It's
in her book, yeah.
It's actually in her book, in the back pages, and I have that. No, actually, you know what? It's not in her book. She wrote it just before she passed. And this is what she coined before she passed it. Take one and pass it. Yeah. And this is what aloha is. Okay, this is what aloha is, and it had to do exactly with that. When Cleveland came, asked her, okay, now because they're U.S. citizens, right? The overthrowers are still U.S. citizens. Their parents were U.S. citizens, so by parentage they still hold a U.S. citizen. Okay, they were born in the islands by parents who are U.S. citizens, so that still makes them U.S. citizens. So when the president was talking to them, okay, he was talking to them as U.S. citizens under the, as U.S. citizens. What they did was they relinquished their U.S. citizen ties. They became totally Hawaiian citizens. At that time, he had to back off because it became a civil issue between the Hawaiians. The Hawaiian Kingdom government allowed for non-Hawaiian blood officers, legislators, whoever, I mean, for all this time, and that was a problem. Okay, but that was a problem in the making by the Hawaiians. Okay, that needs to be corrected, and it will be once we get reinstated and restored. But this one, and if you can read between, I could not turn back the time because her first answer to President Cleveland when he asked for clemency for the guys, you see, he said he asked for clemency, and she said no. Basically, she basically told him, well, what's the result of treason and sedition in your place? What do you do? You know, off with their head. I mean, basically it's a death sentence, and that's what she was still hot and she lost it there. That's why I had to take more time, because he wasn't about to try. He wasn't about to have that on his plate, so he never did anything. Eventually, she relinquished. And this is what I believe. In fact, when I read this, that's the first thing that came to my heart. I could not turn back the time for the political change, but there is still time to save our heritage. You must remember never to cease to act because you fear you may fail. The way to lose any earthly kingdom is to be inflexible, intolerant, and prejudicial. And that's what her first answer was. Another way is to be too flexible, tolerant of too many wrongs, and without judgment at all. It is a razor's edge. It is the width of the blade of a peely grass. To gain the kingdom of heaven is to hear what is not said, to see what cannot be seen, and to know the unknowable. That is aloha. All things in this world are two. In heaven there is but one. And shortly after she passed. But that.
May I have one?
Oh yes.
Thank you so much.
In heaven there
In
is
fact,
but
I had all the things I was going to serve on the people. I was going to give you a copy for your hui over here. But anyway, continuing on this, I just wanted to explain what that is. So this is attention kai kupuna aha kuka o Mauna Kea. O puohonua puhuluhulu na poi kanaka, people of the Hawaiian Society, posterity, descendants, subjects/denizens, Hawaiian nationals et al. So I'm including them whether they are or not. Okay, it's a process. Okay, but as kupuna, just so you understand, kupuna, this is the only saving grace. This is the nice thing about, because it's such a mess. Okay, I mean really, because 127 years, who knows who the hell they are. And there's a lot of ways. Orally, you can start declaring to be a non-U.S. citizen. That's the first thing. But you still have to do kapalapala too. That's called quieting title. Because they literally see us as paper people. That's why a lot of times they could care less. Because to them, they're only dealing with straw men, paper people. Okay. So anyway, so this is attention to them, and I've kind of done it like a court case here. That's for the stamping of the stamps. Right? Anyway, so KHK, this is called the KHKMK Mauna Kea T Tribunal / Counsel Special Ad Hoc Proceeding SB 08-1819 in re sua sponte, which just means by their own volition. They can actually notice quo warranto presentments. That's what I've been doing all along. It's bringing my warrants in. Why I've been taking authority to do what I've been doing for 25 years. That's called warrant. Your warrants of authority. And the process for bringing them before a board or a kupuna tribunal or any governing body, because I claim to work on behalf of the Hawaiian Kingdom and the people thereof, I answer to the people thereof and their agency to ask the question, by what, hey, who died made you king?
Right.
You know, by their, by your warrants, present us with your warrants, and if we find that they are, you know, legitimate, and you had cause for doing what you did, then, you know, then it's sanctioned. You know, we recognize it. And frankly, between you, you know, all those
Like
that have,
what
all of them
you
that
did
have
when
done
you
so
called
far,
the
they're,
PLNR.
yeah, everything that you've done, everything that everybody's
Right.
done, you know, whether wrong or right,
Yes.
the issue is, it's all pono,
Yes.
because it's part of the organic process
Yes.
of re-establishing our knowledge, understanding who we are. So even with all the stuff that they dumped on us, ignorance, social engineering, I mean, hey, when this all comes out, oh my, everything. Okay. Anyway, so this is to the, in continuance for the formal establishment of the proper Hawaiian cultural jurisdiction. See, they haven't claimed jurisdiction. They've claimed
Who are you talking about?
the kupuna. Kupuna.
Oh no, they run from.
Well,
asserting-
well, and then now they should, and yeah, actually, and to this point, they're really not that. At least they were 2 weeks ago when I spoke to them. Anyway, Council of the Ad Hoc. Anyway, Hawaiian Cultural Jurisdiction Spiritual Elders Tribunal / Action Council and their ad hoc committees for the whole. All the committees that are running this place and everything for the whole. Okay. Hawaiian Kingdom / Nation Unification of the Remnant Factions, Hawaiian Kingdom / Nation Governing Claimants, So I'm including this as a case. This is what I'm presenting to them.
Wonderful.
Is they have the power and authority to bring Henry Noah, bring
Right.
Keanu Sai, bring
Right.
Kaleo Lindsey, bring all these guys
Right.
who've been advocating for them for 20, 30 years, bring them in with their palapala. Bring them in with their warrants, okay? And it's called a warrant of proceeding. So by what warrants are you claiming to be our governing body? And they very well may be. The issue is right now they're just claiming to be. Okay. So and along with that is now in solidarity with the whole Hui'ea, people of the Hawaiian Society, Napoi Kanaka Maoli, Napoi Hawaii Nationals, subjects/denizens et al. So we include everybody,
Right, everybody.
in that. So, aloha piha. With all due respect, this matter is being presented and addressed in light of the original foundation and auspices specifically mandated by the good people of the state of Hawaii, 1978 Kankan, to wit, Hawaii Supreme Court stated in their 1986 ruling, Office of Hawaiian Affairs, Trustees versus Yamasaki/Hong. It was the intent of the framers of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs that it be separate and independent not only from the executive branch, but from all branches of the state, and that it would have the status of a state agency. Without being a state agency, it would still have the status of a state agency, so that it could sue other state agencies,
Right.
the state agencies, or anybody interfering with their job.
With
I mean,
their,
it's really
with their charter.
Right.
with their charter
Right.
for the betterment of the conditions of Native Hawaiians and Hawaiians. Now, until this 1978 creation of the office, Hawaiians were lost in between the cracks
Sure.
for
Right.
70 years,
Right.
because they only recognized 50% Hawaiians. They broke up the Hawaiian society. They divided the Hawaiians 50% and the less.
Right. And actually,
That's
at the
social
meeting,
engineering.
we were just at,
Yep.
they had a table with
Yeah.
chairs only for those that have 50%. It was
I
like,
rest my case.
yeah, you guys are still divided.
And who said that?
Yeah.
And that-
you said that.
And that's what they can actually end. They can bring all the Hawaiians together as one,
Yes.
if they will, and they should,
Yes.
because 1920 was, and again, and if you go back to the original legislation, it was
Exactly.
specifically to divide the people.
Exactly.
So you know, Kaleo, when your kuleana has always been to hold OHA accountable to the charter, yeah,
Right.
that created this amazing relationship, that they're independent yet in the state system.
And it has recognition and acknowledgement and clout and money.
Right.
It has political
And-
force,
and a
it's
charter.
recognized by at least the United States.
So when we're ready, we will, and we have marshals on Oahu,
Right.
but we can also send them notices from
Well, this
this
is
kingdom.
this
is kingdom, right?
This, and I believe this is gonna, and what you guys are doing Tuesday is gonna break open everything.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
because I know they're waiting. They're
That's
They're
wonderful.
waiting for something.
Yeah, yeah.
In
Yeah,
fact,
they
they've
are.
been waiting for 20 years
That's right.
for something except paperwork. Anyway, this one continues on. Therefore, mark and note via this presentation that I'm doing today, together with all previous presentments, July 21st, July 31st, August 15, blah, blah, I am tendering my acknowledgement and recognition of the posterity authority, inherent sovereignty of Kahai Kupuna o Mauna Kea, Kapua Aloha spiritual elders. Spiritual sitting at the gate. That's real spiritual, by the way.
Yes.
When you take your issues to the elders sitting at the gate, that's biblical. Okay. And again, when you hear the puli, I mean, when they hold hands and puli like they used to, it always ends with what? Yesu Christo. All the things, all the hearings that they've had throughout these islands. The last one, 2014, when they came try to make one Indian nation.
Right.
Remember they
Yeah,
came?
yeah.
All the puli and everything, Yesu Christo. So they understand that there is a Yesu Christo.
Yeah.
And so basically, accordingly, Kai
We used to
Kupuna,
pay
and so
attention.
here's the thing is, accordingly, Kai Kupuna Mauna Kea Tribunal Council, being in session, is now in receipt of my co-warranto presentments, and I wait this esteemed tribunal's formal precipice summons, writ of quo warranto, and I assume that all other remnant factions, Hawaiian Kingdom governing claimants, will also be receiving a like summons for their respective warrants and formal recognition and acknowledgement of this tribunal's inherent cultural authority. Their respect, Kawai Nui Iano, the important time is now. And unification of the remnant faction is imperative for solidarity. Notice, all parties of interest do conduct yourselves in all due respect for Kai Kupuna Mauna Kea Tribunal Council acting in proper decorum. Again, I say, the council acting in proper decorum. They have to act and understand they are referees of the Most High. So, with truth and righteousness. So everyone can ai kapono. And then I signed this one. Now this is what Keakuos had me turn all the way back, and cost me an hour, 2 hours on that one. Same heading, okay, just different. It's the same case number because it's the same thing. Joint presentment in confirmation of recognition and acknowledgement by Executive Minister Pro Tem Lindsey L. Kaleo Lindsey, OHA Provisional Government of Kai Kupuna o Mauna Kea, Kapua Aloha Spiritual Elders. Establishment of the proper Hawaiian cultural jurisdiction, spiritual elders, tribunal, action council, and their ad hoc committees for the whole. Peoples of the Hawaiian Society, Napoi Kanaka Maoli, Napoi Hawaii Nationals, subject denizens, et al., all of them. Aloha Pia, as the acknowledged Executive Minister Pro Tem for the Kingdom of Hawaii Peoples of the Hawaiian Society, Sovereign Kai Kupuna Tribunal Council Hui Ea, Hawaiian Nationals, Hawaiian Posterity Descendant Beneficiaries et al., Hawaiian Island Archipelago. It gives me great pleasure to also acknowledge and recognize Administrator, Progenitor Jean Tamashiro, and undersigning members of the Hawaiian Kingdom General Assembly / Circle of Sovereigns, Aloha Truth Alliance, to wit, we, being in full agreement by a covenant of truth and with all due respect to the inherent historical facts, facial evidence, in these matters, do hereby and now fully acknowledge and recognize the posterity authority, inherent sovereignty of Kai Kupuna o Mauna Kea, Kapu Aloha Spiritual Elders, elders sitting at the gate. Oye, 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 Kai Kupuna Mauna Kea Tribunal Council, being in session, is hereby in receipt of our confirmation authorizing signatures done by our own hand as lawful witnesses to this long-awaited epical event. Accordingly, done this 18th day of the 8th month, August, in the year of our Lord 2019, with our signatures we duly affirm our inherent authority, Umauke o Kaini Kapono, for the Hawaiian Kingdom General Assembly, Circle of Sovereigns, and you got 4 positions for signatures, and then for the people of the Hawaiian Society, blah blah. That's my signature. So that's what I'm doing this one. I just again, Keokua sent me back here, and I am only doing what I believe he told me to do. If you guys have a
You ready?
if
I'm
you're
ready
ready,
to put my signature on there.
I'm ready.
yeah, if you could do that, perfect.
My-
It's already intended for.
Okay.
You see.
As long as whenever I sign anything, I always put True Kanaka all rights reserved.
All rights, yeah. And that all rights reserved is that maybe their process is not Kona for us.
Right.
But
right.
it is a cultural courtesy.
Yes.
See, that's
Yes,
the main
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
Everything
yeah, and I
is
totally
cultural
respect that, right.
courtesy again, and it's in honoring of them as young bloods who was in the trench. They waited to see
Yes.
all of it. They
Yes.
just don't realize
No,
what
they
a
don't.
powerful
Right.
move they've done,
That's right.
and they don't know how to take.
That's right.
next
That's
step.
right. That's right. Exactly.
And
yeah,
this
next
is
It seems they're
That's
starting
right.
to percolate
And-
where
right.
they're going so aboriginal.
And so this is the foundation.
Oh yeah, nice. Cut down the smell.
Arguments and everything. Yeah. And yes, ex parte it, because the other party's not there. Yeah. That you do a TRO, temporary restraining order, injunction on the process that the state wants to force you guys into. Okay. And then serve a summons on them to appear into your tribunal court here, like they give you to appear in their tribunal. Give them their land, and when they don't, you get a default judgment. Okay. That carries a lot of weight. Okay. Because you're not only Kupuna Tribunal, you're also a governing body. Not the government, but
Right.
you're
A
a
governing
governing
body.
body.
Right.
And they recognize community-based government.
Right.
Governance.
Right.
Governance.
That's right. Governance. That's r-
And you're doing nothing but the law.
right.
And the fact is, they know they're waiting for something to happen. And as long as you give them some type of an organized process
Yes.
to be heard,
To give
Yes.
due process.
to give
Yes.
you, exactly,
Yes.
you're giving them the same, they're going to look at this, and they're going to laugh.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the same thing I was saying.
They're going to laugh until their bonds start getting attached.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, when their bonds, they can't work when their bonds are attached.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the very powerful process of default in this kind of a court.
Right.
You can then go and do a process on their bonds.